He's outside 25 minutes after the hour of 7 o'clock. And give us a call at 866-6700, 866-6700. We've got a good friend in the studio with us right now talking about jobs in Nevada. McKay Daniels, good morning, sir.
Morning, Steve. Good to be with you.
Now, you find yourself as the executive director, which is a great esteemed title.
One that I think you've had a number of times for different organizations.
Sure, and then which means it cheapens the whole rank of executive director, too much. But you are heading up a group here in Nevada that is sounding the alarm about a piece of legislation that's been flying through Washington, D.C. For a number of months now.
It is. It's the Alliance to Protect Nevada Jobs, and we are standing up for small business owners and entrepreneurs here in Nevada who are barely keeping their doors open right now. And a key piece of legislation that would force many of them to close their doors or move overseas or lay off additional workers is a piece of legislation called the Employee Free Choice Act, which is an artful term. It should be called the Employee Forced Choice Act because it literally strips away all free choice.
I know. It's kind of that Orwellian doublespeak thing that we just love about Washington, isn't it?
Right. It seems to be what D.C. does best. But this piece of legislation has been it's before the U.S. Senate right now. Just last week, the Senate committee chairman, whose baby this is, Senator Harkin of the Help Committee, said that they're looking to move this legislation forward this session before the end of the year, and our coalition's taking that charge very seriously and trying to educate Nevada voters, educate Nevada citizens about this legislation and the adverse impact that it would have on small businesses, not just here in Nevada but throughout the country.
Now, the legislation is kind of a sop to organized labor. By the administration, kind of the gift that they've given to organized labor for being so active in the 2008 campaign. That's politics. I mean, you turn it out for a guy, and you get to call in your chit.
Yeah, you spend $500 million electing your people to office, and as a number of labor bosses have said, they expect payback.
Well, something tells me that organized labor, in a lot of ways, wishes that they could have their money back because things aren't moving nearly as fast as they thought they would move in Washington once the Democrats took control of the House and the Senate and the administration. People thought that the legislation that you're referring to would have been front and center when President Obama first took office, that this would have been one of the very first things that he would have used political capital to pass. Why is it kind of languished over the last 16 months up there?
Well, there are a number of different reasons for it. One was the health care bill, which organized labor got very, very involved on and used a lot of their political capital to push through. And a number of labor bosses said, after health care, next comes EFCA, the Employee Free Choice Act. And now with health care passed, we have been seeing an increased chatter, if you will, and a number of comments from labor bosses around the country about this is our priority, and they're looking at options to perhaps attach the bill onto other legislation, attach key provisions to it,
or pass it in a lame duck session.
In a lame duck session,
sometime between November 3rd and when Santa comes down the chimney. Right. Now, the things that are the nasty part of this that make it onerous to all Americans, really, even people in organized labor, should be have to do with stripping out, or not stripping out, but not allowing a secret vote to organize,
right,
and mandatory arbitration.
There are three incredibly onerous, to use your fancy word.
That's okay. I learned it from John Ralston. Otherwise, I had the vocabulary of an 8-year-old until I met Mr. Ralston.
There are three primary provisions that are incredibly dangerous to entrepreneurs and small businesses here in Nevada. The first one, as you mentioned, was the stripping away of the secret ballot, a right that we enjoy each year and right that those who are unionizing right now have. It eliminates the pressure from either side.
It keeps everybody, management and And unions keeps everybody honest and keeps you from.
You go in, you close that drape, you cast with just you and your conscience, and that's it, and you go forward, and the chips fall where they may. And the labor bosses are looking to remove that provision, allowing pressure or coercion or just peer pressure from labor bosses, from coworkers, employees, etc., to vote the way that they see fit. There would be, I know I would take notice if I'm at a Sunday barbecue with my next door neighbors or something, and a couple guys come and knock on my door and say, "Hey, we noticed you haven't signed this card yet."
And in fact, it's taken on the euphemism of card check, and they call it card check.
Right.
A lot of people don't even know what card check is, but when you describe it to them as taking away the secret ballot, essentially, if I understand it right, that right now, if you work at a business and folks want to be unionized, that you have to fill out a card that says, yes, I want to have a vote.
Right.
And then once they call for the vote, you can vote in secret. And oftentimes what people do is, what employees do, is just to say, yeah, I want to, I think we should be able to vote on it. It's a way of getting people off their back, especially people who desperately want to organize. If you can imagine this, if you're at a workplace, let's say you're at a casino, or you're at a warehouse, or you've got a small manufacturing business, or whatever it is, and somebody says, you know what, we're not getting paid enough. You know what, I think we should get another week of vacation. You know what, I think our boss is the owner of the company has more money than God, and they should be spending more on us. You know what, it's just not right. And somebody gets a little burr up their butt, and pretty soon they want to organize, and they get on Google and they find out the
process.
Yeah, the process of how to do it, and they contact some goofball union out on the East Coast that has nothing to do with you manufacturing your widgets, and they say, sure, we'll come and organize your 40 employees or whatever. And so anyway, this whole time, you've got that crackpot employee who's trying to organize and bugging the crap out of everybody, and you've got this paranoid, scared, spitless employer that says, oh my gosh, I can't let this happen. And all of a sudden, the tensions rise, and the one thing that an employee will do is to get everybody off their back is sign the card that says, okay, let's just vote on it. Because once we vote on it, then boom, it's done. We get it out of here. But until we call for the vote, we're going to have everybody on my back, nasty work situation, this screaming fellow employee who's just a frickin' Karl Marx about it.
Right.
And so, boom, we sign the card, and then they schedule a vote. But what the unions want to do, because they know how much pressure can be applied just in the process of signing a card, they want to say that once you sign the card, that's it. That is your vote.
Right.
But there is a lot of evidence that points to the fact that once employees, get behind the drape and vote, that they don't vote to unionize.
Exactly, and that provision is bad for the business, bad for the worker. It truly puts the worker in the worst scenario possible, because they are now susceptible to all of that pressure from outside forces. And by having the secret ballot, it strips away that pressure, and they're able to vote their conscience, and if they're happy with their workplace but they've got crackpot person pressuring them, they sign to call for a vote, and then they vote against